Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll go over the 3 new vehicles added in the update. Now if you've been living under a rock and have no idea what I'm talking about, the new vehicles are the F-22 Raptor, the X10, and the Blackout. I'll go over which ones are the best to buy for different players, and whether or not you're a PvPer or a grinder, there is a vehicle for everyone. And just so you know, you can still buy the Raider Z and the P1G1. They're still in a piggy shop just off to the side. So that's going to be helpful for you guys who haven't gotten them yet. And let's go ahead and get right into the video. Let's go ahead and get started with the new aircraft physics introduced in the new update. If you notice on your phone, there are a few new things that you can do. The options that I generally use for plane physics is advanced. Basically, what the difference is, basic is sort of the old plane physics where you can't roll freely and you automatically level out. It has some advantages, including being able to take off very easily. And advanced is more like real aircraft. You actually need some space to take off, and you can roll freely now and have good pitch, roll, and yaw control. So this is more like real aircraft simulations. Also, I set my plane sensitivity to 10, but you can set it to whatever you like. And also there's another option, anti-stall boost. What that does is basically if you're stalling your engine, meaning you're losing airspeed, then it'll automatically boost the F-22 or the Spitfire, whatever has boost. And I usually like to have this option off because I want to conserve my boost. Also, there's another hidden option, and I will get into that later, but it can really help you in winning dogfights. You can now find the new F-22 Raptor aircraft at the aircraft carrier. Now, it costs $11 million, which is pretty expensive, and it's also a single-seater, which I believe is a good thing because we need more solo vehicles instead of vehicles like the Cobra where you have to have a gunner. I recommend flying this in advanced mode if you want to win dogfights, and in basic mode if you want to get from point A to point B. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any stealth options despite being the F-22 Raptor, but you do get a cool afterburner that'll make stealth basically useless. And it is pretty tanky at 600 HP, which is very nice. Also, if you notice, they animated the control surfaces, so that's a cool addition by the devs. One thing to know is that if you want to be able to look around using your camera while in advanced flight mode, then you'll have to use the drive-by glitch and then you'll be able to look around. But it does cause your flight to be very glitchy since it causes your mouse movements to change the jet's controls as well. Also, if you are in advanced mode, then your camera's going to be locked directly forward, and that's just something about advanced mode that you should know. The F-22 is insanely fast. It's even faster than the Cyberplane. It's actually about the same speed as the P1G1. Now look at this chase I was doing. I was easily able to catch up with the P1G1 with my missiles. Now this does not mean that the F-22 is faster than the P1G1, it just means that it is insanely fast. Look at how fast it is compared to the Warhawk. Note that I'm doing this without an afterburner. Now once I do the loop, I use the afterburner and blow the Warhawk clean out of the water. It is so fast, so much faster than the Warhawk that it can even outrun all sorts of missiles. Now let's see the dogfighting capabilities of the F-22. If you look at the turning radius, it's insanely tight, so much so that you can easily outturn the Warhawk without even using the rolls. You can just use the rudders to be able to catch up with the Warhawk in a turn circle, so it's insanely good at dogfighting those classic jets. If you're wondering if it could outturn the Spitfire, it can, but there's some methods that you could use to easily beat the F-22 Raptor, so it's mainly good in the open air. Because this aircraft is so fast, the missiles were also made to be insanely good. The lock-on range is absolutely the biggest range you can find on an aircraft. You can lock onto someone from almost an entire runway. The lock-on time, however, is the worst part of it. It's an entire 3 seconds. This is very long for an aircraft, which usually has fast lock-on times under 2 seconds. But it does fire missiles in a burst of 4. They deal 30 damage to players each and 60 damage to vehicles. But there's also a bug that allows you to fire 5 rockets in your first missile burst, but it just only happens in the first burst. The burst does take around 5 seconds to recharge, meaning that it's a good DPS dealer, especially in turn battles. Because this aircraft is so fast and doesn't have air brakes in advanced mode, what you'll have to do if you want to lock onto ground targets is freeze yourself midair. If you don't know what the freeze glitch is, basically you just go into full screen windowed mode and hold right click on the top of your screen. That'll allow you to freeze your aircraft midair, keep locking on while you're frozen midair, and you'll stay in the same spot and be able to fire all your rockets with perfect lock-on accuracy. This is what it looks like from a noob's perspective. There are some insanely annoying things about flying with advanced mode, however. One of those things is that it's very hard to take off. First of all, you need a big runway, and if you get stuck anywhere, you won't be able to take off. This means that if you crash into the city, you're pretty much done for in a dogfight. You're done. You have to hop out. So eventually what you have to do to get out is to set it to basic mode, and then your turning will be a lot more powerful, and you'll be able to get out very easily. And then you can set it back to advanced mode. But honestly, it's just a very annoying thing. Now, there is a pretty big counter to this vehicle, and that's the missile lock-on jammer glitch. Basically, it blocks you from being locked onto, and how to do this is just go inside of an invisibility vehicle, turn invisible, and then hop out. But there are also fun glitches with the F-22. You can fly backwards, which is also very fun, and you can get very good at this. This is the new Blackout helicopter. You can get it in the piggy shop for a low, cheapskate, and best of all, free-to-play cost of 13,500 piggy coins. It's a two-seater helicopter based on the real-life Invictus attack helicopter, although it does have a standard armor at 400 HP. The missiles of this vehicle are somewhat a side grade to the Cobra missiles. It's not an upgrade, it's not a downgrade, it's just a side grade. Now, it fires in a burst of 12 rockets, each dealing 10 damage to players and 15 damage to vehicles. That means a total of 180 damage to vehicles, or a total of 120 damage to players. Now, there's an important thing about these missiles, and it may be a glitch as of now. Right now, it can only lock onto aircraft like the hyperglider or jets. Now, the lock-on jammer glitch will counter the missiles too, so that's something to be watching out for. One interesting thing is that once the missiles are locked onto a vehicle, they will not lock off of the vehicle even if the pilot does bail. Now, this vehicle also has a stealth option, which is going to be very useful in combat. If you wanted to know how it fares against the Raider will out DPS it very easily because it has such low HP. But the moment you feel like you're in trouble, you can just go ahead and activate the lock-on jammer glitch, and then there's nothing that the Raider or any kind of missile aircraft can do to you, because the lock-on jammer glitch is permanent and it stays until you die. Now, let's say your opponent also has a lock-on jammer glitch and you want to be able to take them out but can't lock onto them. Well, there's actually a turret that your passenger can use, and we're going to go ahead and go over the stats right now. The turret on the Blackout is similar to the Cobra's turret. It does 20 damage to vehicles and 10 damage to players, which is the exact same as the Cobra. However, it has a much higher fire rate, and I'll have to get back to you on the DPS with that, but I think it's twice the Cobra's fire rate. The aiming style is the same as the Cobra's, which is cursor controlled, but it will beat out the Cobra turret due to its higher fire rate. Do you also want to know something funny? Basically, if you use stealth, your passenger won't go invisible, and he also won't go lock-on jammer. Meaning, if you have a passenger, then you go try to do the lock-on jammer glitch, people can still lock onto your aircraft by locking onto the passenger, so you have to kick them out and let them bait out the missiles so that you don't get hit. Now, there's also a bug that's been plaguing the Blackout helicopter since its release, and basically you cannot fly it if you're in the advanced mode. As you can see, I get into the helicopter and I'm trying to take off right now, but I can't take off because the helicopter is permanently glitched now. I can go invisible, but I cannot take off. Even if I disable advanced mode, it still won't take off. So what I have to do is I have to go ahead and spawn a new one with the basic one before I hop in. So that's just an annoying glitch that they have to get patched very soon. This vehicle is great for players who don't have the Nighthawk or want to grind using a helicopter. This is because you can use the lock-on jammer glitch to not be targeted in public service, meaning that you don't have to worry about someone chasing you with a hyperglider. That's why I'd say it's the best for grinders. Here is the X10, the other Celestial Piggy event vehicle. It costs approximately 0.01 million piggy coins, which is equivalent to 10,550 piggy coins. It's a highly maneuverable plane that's basically a drifty Spitfire. And when I say highly maneuverable, it's possibly the best dogfighter in the game. It's so maneuverable, you can make very tight turns without moving anywhere. And so basically, it's just a futuristic, but unfortunately lowly armored dogfighter. It also is a two-seater vehicle, meaning that you can take your friend with you wherever you go. First of all, before we discuss the guns, I'd like to say that the jet is so highly maneuverable and so fun to use with the turret, and the sound is just so fun to hear. Let's talk weapons. The X10 has 2 mounted grenade launchers that deal up to 16 damage to players and 25 damage to vehicles. The grenades have a lot of bullet drop and seem to disappear after traveling 50 or so meters. Also, the grenade launchers are spaced quite far apart from each other, which is good for balancing, but it cuts your DPS in half for smaller targets, if you can even hit them. Also, something you should note is that the explosion radius is so small, so you might want to consider that before buying this vehicle. Note how long it takes to destroy a single ground target. As for dogfighting, I could say single-handedly this is the best dogfighter vehicle there is, besides the F-22 Raptor, of course. With F-22 Raptor, you could honestly just outrun this and stay away forever and then just lock onto it when they're not ready, but in a close-up dogfight, this thing is going to be so good it can almost beat the Comet. And the Comet is like the best dogfighter vehicle. He's not even using the Stinger right now, and I'm able to deal a lot of damage. I don't consider a Comet to be a real dogfight because you're just shooting out of a window, but with this vehicle, you can turn so easily you don't even have to worry about dodging missiles. So here are the pros and cons of every one of these vehicles. The Raptor is going to be the best organized dogfighter in the game because of its speed, turn radius, and armor, but you'll have to sell your soul to afford it. The Blackout is the best grinder helicopter due to its stealth and co-pilocy, but its offensive capability is quite limited to just aircraft. The X10 is the best free roam plane because it's very fun to use and you can win even in tight areas, but it's just not very fast. Now, thanks for watching everyone. I'll be sure to cover weapon meta changes and silent updates in my next videos. And if you want to get these vehicles quick, you can join my Discord server linked below to get in on our high efficiency boss runs. See you guys.